we have a brand new pre-release for 1.17. This is the third one that they came out with, but unlike the previous one, this one also contains some new features. Before we get into all the new things with pre-release 3, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on all the cool things that I've shown as possible for 1.17. The first big change that they made is that they changed the way that lit candles look. They aren't so overly prominent. You're still able to tell that they're lit, even if you don't have particles turned on. And overall, looks like it's a good change. The next new feature that they added in is that goats will no longer get attacked back by whatever things they hit. So even if they hit something like a husk, which is normally hostile to whoever hurts it, nothing will fight back towards these guys that hit them. So even something like an iron golem who gets hit by these guys won't fight back. But things that do automatically attack other mobs, including ghosts, such as like a wither, will automatically attack these guys. So you guys might have seen my video all about goats and potential uses for them in farms, and one of the things I suggest is that it could be used inside of a witch farm. But at that time, the witches did have a small chance of throwing a potion back at the goat and end up hurting them, which would eventually kill them. But now the goats can hit these guys without worrying about the witches ever attacking back. So if you want to, you could make a witch farm with goats, but as I talked about in that video, it is slower than using like my Zoglin witch farm. But it could definitely make a really funny farm, not only for witches, but for other hostile mobs. If you want to, you can use goats to move pretty much any mob around by having them ram them, although it would be more for fun than for efficiency. Now they did say that there is this warning that's currently popping up during this pre-release, and this is an accident and will be removed in the next pre-release. The next big change that they made is how glow squid as well as axolotls spawn into the game. On top of the previous requirement, which they had to be underneath the sea level, and they also had to believe that they weren't inside of an ocean, equivalent to having blocks on top of it, they now also need to be in an area that is completely dark in order to spawn, as well as have it so they spawn in with natural stone within 5 meters below them from where they spawn. Now, Tiz Awesome looked up what exactly natural stone is, and it includes stone, granite, diorite, andesite, tuff, as well as deep slate. So those blocks underneath of them, they're able to spawn in naturally. This means I will have to tweak my glow squid farm to make sure it's completely dark and to make sure that the bottom has some stone blocks. But look forward to a new video on those, as well as I will be updating my fish in a bucket farm, which can be used to pick up axolotls. I think it's a good thing that they added in these requirements. That way we don't have these guys accidentally spawn inside of other waterways they might have in your world. You can stop them by either putting in light or making sure that the bottom block is not stoned. So some pretty cool changes, like we don't have to worry about goats accidentally ramming mobs that will end up killing them. You won't lose your goats. And you don't have to worry about like axolotls spawning inside of your fish aquariums and killing off your fish. Besides those new features, they also came out with a few bug fixes. The first one is that now the player is holding the end rod very securely instead of it having kind of hovering in front of his hand. They fixed a problem where if you breed 2 axolotls together and produce a baby axolotl, they will no longer despawn. And the reason they changed this is because when you breed other mobs like cows and pigs, their babies don't despawn, so the idea is these guys shouldn't despawn either. Now axolotls on their own can despawn because they are in the same mob cap as like squids and dolphins. So if they can't despawn, that means they should also not count towards a mob cap. This is similar to axolotls, which you pick up with a bucket and place down again. Those guys don't despawn, and they also don't count to the mob cap. There's a problem if you use set block to place a vine, the vine itself wouldn't render. And this was a bug just to do with the snapshots. And now once again, you get the default vine, which is the vine with it on all 5 sides. There was a problem that in caves, there was still floating water being generated. And it had to do with 2 different types of caves intersecting each other. Another problem that was fixed with vines is that vines weren't able to climb up blocks above them that weren't full blocks in themselves, like a stair here, which normally can have vines placed on them. It wasn't naturally doing this, and now it should. They fixed this bug to do with how caves were generating. They would seemingly break along chunk borders. They also added it so that if you light a candle on a cake, the texture of that candle will also change, just like the ones that change on the ground. Another problem if you give mobs a custom player head, that there was Z fighting occurring between the head as well as the mob texture, which is just underneath of it. And they resolved this. If you had the game rule do tile drops set to false, when a sand block was dropped onto a slab, it wouldn't pop off as an item, but would instead just stay there as a block. And now it will pop off like a normal one. They also fixed quite a few different crashes that would occur for different reasons. We're getting ever closer to 1.17, which is coming out on the 8th of June. So just next week. With it, we'll be getting access to all of this cool stuff. If you guys are wondering how to get all the different items in the normal survival world of 1.17, check out this video I did on it. And if you want to know how to farm up all these items in large amounts, I've done a farm on all 30 different types of items. You can find that playlist linked below. I'd love to hear what you guys are most excited for in this upcoming release. And as always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!